So welcome back. In today's video, once again, EcoFlow has released another back-to-back awesome product. And y'all know I partnered with EcoFlow a while back to test a lot of their new releases and products, and most of them I'm testing before they ever release to the public and giving feedback on that. So they just recently released an automated mower called the Blade. That was an awesome test. Then the baddest cooler I've ever seen with an ice maker in it, the Glacier. And now today we have a portable AC, the WAVE 2. So bear with me, I'm pouring sweat today. It's currently 90 degrees here in Florida, a perfect day to test an AC. I'm ready to get this thing cranking. All right, so what the heck is this? I'll give you a close up here in a second. It's a portable, they're relatively lightweight AC unit, and I believe a world's first heating unit as well. So not only will this cool, well, like a lot of other models will, this one will heat, which is important for those of you that are, well, maybe camping in the winter. Although we're going to focus on the AC portion today because it's already hot as can be. It has over 5,000 BTU of cooling capacity, and it's one of the fastest units out. So EcoFlow makes the claim that this unit can, well, cool off. They don't say the size space. I'm going to assume something like what's behind me, 18 degrees in as quick as 5 minutes. And they also claim that it can heat up a space 18 degrees in 5 minutes as well. So you're talking some serious air movement and cooling and heating capacity in this thing. So here's where it gets really cool. They're always thinking of everything. This right here is a huge battery that this can go on. Now the battery is extra, but this thing is now truly portable. So there's lots of different ways we can run this. You can run it off of power stations, off of vehicles, and you can run it off of solar. It has a solar input on the side, so you can run it off this battery and charge that up. They're always thinking about solar, which is kind of popular for people that may be using one of these for camping, RVing, things such as that. By the way, they claim it can run up to 8 hours on this battery. It's a pretty large battery in eco mode, so you have a couple different modes that you can run this here. Speaking of the modes, heating, cooling, eco modes for the cooling, for example, run the compressor at a lower state, fan mode, and the cool thing about this one is typically whenever you're cooling down, well, you're creating moisture, you're taking humidity out of the air. This comes with a drain tube that you can hook up and actually drain it straight out, something that I would do especially if I'm trying to just cool down my tent for the night. Or it has a catch pan in there, and you can allow this to fill up. It'll let you know, and then you can turn on a pump and pump this out, say, into a bucket. So you can truly use this like in an indoor space and run it out a window or some other enclosed space and not have to worry about the water draining out everywhere. So they do include a lot of different adapters that actually snap on over all these vents and intakes, front, rear, because, well, you're pulling air in inside an enclosed space here, and you're cooling it down or heating it up and exiting it back out. Whereas, for example, if you're just gonna do a tent, you don't have to worry about pulling out the inside air or how you dispose of that heat off of the compressor itself. So you can actually let the unit pull in and out as is, and direct it in. So they give you lots of different adapters, whether you're running inside of a home, an RV, or just outdoors in the open like this. Comes with the drain tube for the water if you want to run that out or pump it like into a bucket, and two adjustable, very long reach hoses. So if you want to run up, say, out a window, or if you want to plumb one of these into your tent, which we're going to test that here in a second. Now the manual comes with a quick start guide that does show you how to hook these up depending on the needs that you have, for example. They also include a little foam adapter that you can stick in your window to run your intake and heat exhaust hose outside. That way you're not pumping back the heat of the unit into the room that you're trying to cool off. I do wish this was a little bigger. They come with another adapter on the side, so you're probably gonna have to get creative and come up with another piece here. So whenever you pull down your window, you're closing up this gap as well. Another large piece of foam would be perfect, being that the majority of windows here are 30+ inches. Now you can run the unit as is without the battery power or purchase that extra to run the solar and not need any sort of plug-ins. It just snaps right on, snaps forward. Now the battery is part of the unit. And one thing I love, they're finally getting smart. This is something I've been hoping to see on portable power stations. Here is a flat cord that connects the battery to the main unit itself. That is what I like to see. Nothing sticking way out in the way for you to trip over. And now you can connect the two together right here on the side. Let me show you this. So here's the battery connected to the main unit with that flat cable. I love that. You can plug in solar here now to charge that battery up. And here's your main plug to plug into the wall outlet. You can also run all your other DC power into here, like say from a vehicle. Here's a main look at the front. This is your main air intake. This is where it exhausts from. And here's where you're gonna pull in to go over the coils in the back and then expel the heat off of the unit right there. So depending on how you're going to set this up determines which adapters you put on and what hoses that you use. For example, if we're just going to run straight into a tent, this unit can stay outside. We'll put one adapter on here and plumb the cool air straight into the tent, whereas all the hot air will be exhausted outside, so there's no concern about plumbing that out a window, for example, like if you were to do it inside. All right, to turn the battery on, press and hold the button up front. To show you where the battery's at. We're currently at 2 bars, so we'll plug in some solar and do a little charging. And I love that companies are starting to do this. Anytime you have a large extra battery like this, I love seeing ports in it. So now you can charge a phone with a USB-C and you have a standard USB. Might as well make the battery multi-purpose. Power the display on, which is probably going to be impossible to see out here in this bright sun, although I can easily see that with my eye. Hopefully y'all can see it. It's telling me the temperature it's set at, 68 degrees. We have our temperature up and down buttons, our mode, again for fan, heating, cooling, and eco mode, fan speeds, and here is our adjustable vents right here. All right, so this is really quick and easy. You just snap this piece on, just like that. Lock your hose in. That's it, especially for a tent. We'll put this up here and we'll zip everything up in a second after we check that temperature. Okay, so I'm using EcoFlow's fold out 400 watt panels, and it's worth mentioning this unit can handle up to 60 volts of solar up to 400 watts. So this panel should be perfect for this. And I see a little solar panel symbol up here. I don't know how well you can see it. And it's showing that it is charging. So y'all want to see something crazy? The bottom number is the one that we're looking at, indoor, which is this little thermometer right here. It's showing 104 degrees in here. And y'all, it really does feel like it's 104 in here. There's no breeze. It is miserable hot. The floor feels hot. Now we're up to 105. Let's see how quickly we can cool this down. All right, I'm gonna zip the tube up, keeping the tent closed off, and I have all my vents closed too. That's why it's so hot in there, because we don't want to lose our cool air. All right, the unit is just kicked on. I've got it set to 60 degrees on AC. All right, I just stuck my hand in front of the fan and I can feel it already blowing cool air literally a couple seconds later. Let me start a watch and we'll check this again in 5 minutes, see what the temperature is inside. You know, I got to thinking, why not just get inside the tent and do an actual test? As y'all could see by all the sweat on my forehead, it is burning up in here. But I have nice cool air blasting across me right now. We've been in here 1 minute and the temperature's done dropped 3 degrees. I expect it to drop a lot more quickly. Where was this back when I was camping? I would have camped a lot more. I know some people was gonna call this glamping. Yeah, and I like it. Right, quick little update. It has been 5 minutes and we have dropped 10 degrees in here. 95 is still warm, but it's definitely dropping and there's still cool air coming out of that. All right, so almost 15 minutes later, we're down to 83 degrees. I'm just kind of sitting in front of this. Let me tell y'all something. The tent is in the sun. Like, this is not how you set a tent up. Only about a third of it is shaded by the tree behind me, so I'm set up poorly for this test. And I can feel the heat baking off the top of the tent, but then I can feel a cool layer of air down here we'd be sleeping. In reality, most people are not gonna have a tent in the blazing sun in the middle of the day and trying to sleep. They're gonna be in the shade, and most likely you're gonna be running this AC unit at nighttime when you're sleeping. If the sun was not baking on this tent, oh, I guarantee you the temperature would fly down even more. By the way, we just dropped down to 82 degrees. So already a noticeable difference between outside temp, and this has only been running about 15 minutes. So I can see this making tent camping so much more enjoyable. And for the people that are curious, I've been paying attention to the battery, which I know y'all can't see. With the solar panels like they are, although this is a very hazy day and we're not getting probably half power in from these, the unit is outpacing the solar panels. So keep that in mind. The solar panels are there to charge this up during the day, but if you use panels while running this, it looks like this unit still pulls enough power that it's going to outpace those. But obviously you're going to greatly extend your runtime of this unit by using solar panels. And for people that are also curious, that's a 400 watt set of panels. So assuming you could get full power to these a perfectly sunny day, that's a almost 1200 watt hour battery. You would take 3 hours for that to charge the battery up, maybe a little longer with some conversion losses with the machine not running. So I figure some people are going to want to know that data. All right, you're going to think I'm crazy for this one, but here is the way I plan to store my unit when not in use in a portable function. This is going to be a good test. So in here, I'm going to show you, this is my electrical room, which has a lot of heat in it. And I have built and plumbed in a cap up top to where I can run this AC down into there. I can also run the tube off of this, the drain tube, right down to my sink that's over there, and I can permanently drain this. And I can control this from an app, so I never have to come up here. I'll show you all this in just a second. Let me show you something. It is currently 93 degrees in this room. There's my little thermometer right there, and it's because I run solar equipment here that puts off heat, and it's an uninsulated room. The shop is really hot as well. So right now I'm blasting cold air down in this room, and I can feel it all the way down here. All right, so check this out. Here's the app. It's showing that my unit is running on cool mode. We're currently outputting 58 degree temperature air, and we can see that the room temperature, the environment that it is 81.5 degrees and climbing. So we're seeing well over a 22 degree drop in temperature, actually going on toward 23, 24. That is really good. That tends to be industry standard. By the way, you can also turn a timer on this. So like if you're camping and want it to cut off in the middle of the night, I can adjust my temperature with this dial right here. I can turn the fan up and down by pressing these buttons. There's my cool, heat, and fan mode. And here's that drainage function I was telling you about. Right now I have it to where it's going to store the water and I'll have to manually go pump that out. Or you can turn on this function in the app right here, which will cause the unit to continuously drain. That's something you'd want on, like say if you were camping and the unit was outside on the ground, you could pump the water there. I'm going to go purchase me a little hose from the hardware store and run from the unit up top down to my sink and have it drain in, and I'll have it to where it always drains automatically and the unit will never cut off. By the way, this also has Wi-Fi, so my odd example right here where I'm running it to cool off a room, I can cut this off from anywhere, from over at the house or if I'm away from the property. Off, on, I could set timers. So I have full control of an AC unit taking care of an equipment room that I have right here, all via Wi-Fi. That is actually a really, really neat option for me. All right, so here we are just a little while later. Over here on the table where the air is blowing down, it's showing 79 degrees. Oh, y'all can just feel the air hitting me. It's good. Over here, which is against a hot outside wall, we're down to 86, and we're also right near the equipment. But I can tell you, it feels a lot more like that 79 right here. It feels good in here. All right, so here it is next day. You can see I've got the battery fully charged and topped off. It's showing fully charged right here. I'm going to put this in AC mode. And then I'm going to turn on the little leaf symbol, which is eco mode. I'm going to turn this all the way down so the compressor never cuts off. And we're going to see how long this will run. It's currently 86 degrees in here. It's supposed to get back up into the 90s today. So this thing is going to be pulling in a lot of hot air that it has to convert over. We should be getting close to running out of battery. You see it's flashing. Perfect timing. And we have been running for 4 hours and 4 minutes. And it's showing we're pretty much out of battery. So I'm going to go ahead and plug this in and we'll discuss this. All right, so as we wrap this several day test up, by the way, I've already ran this for quite a few weeks before even making this video. No issues thus far. That's a beautiful thing about me getting stuff long before it's been released to the public. Well, I can test it and kind of look for any issues there. But not to beat a dead horse, so to speak, I want to remind people how this system right here works because it has so many different options available. So I just got 4 hours running the battery with me turning this all the way down to 60 degrees in eco mode. So had this unit actually been in a room, for example, and a window be behind me, what you would do, well, you'd take this piece off that we've been running the pipe out of right here. Then it's going to pull cool air or hot air in from the room, run it across the coils, exit it back out here into the room. So as the room cools down, so does the air coming in the front side of the unit. And eventually, well, guess what? You reach the temperature that you set at. Most likely, you're not going to run this wide open at 60 degrees. It may be 75 or 80 degrees you have it set. Then the unit cycles off, goes to fan mode only. Your power consumption drops dramatically, and you extend your runtime. That's the normal operation for any type of AC. One snaps up top. So what that allows you to do is now you can actually pull air in from a window, run it across, well, the coils on the backside that's really hot, the compressor, everything else, exit it right back out the window so you're not dumping that hot air in the room. That's the way an AC works. You can't take heat out of the air and discharge it back in the room via the equipment that's removing it. It has to exit somewhere. So when you run these units outside of a tent or outside of a room like I did, it's taking in air from outside and, well, guess what? Not only is it putting it in the room, but it's blowing it across, cooling the equipment and putting it right back outside. That's just a little less of an efficient way because, well, you're not pulling cool air in from the room right there. But you've got all these different adapters and hoses to set up for any type of scenarios. Hopefully that makes sense. Now, because I'm getting this unit so early, I got it a long time before it was released to the public. I don't know pricing on it yet. I don't know how much the extra battery is or the main unit itself. I can let you know, I do have links down in the description. Not only is there going to be an early bird special where you can save several $100s off of this unit. That's something they've been offering on their new releases here lately, but I have a discount code down there as well. And just FYI, if you use my code, I do earn a small commission. It's much appreciated. It's a big part of my income and how I make reviews. Plus you get that discount code for some additional money off. So I can't give thoughts just yet on what you get for the money. Again, I just don't know the price, but all I can tell you is I've had 0 issues out of it. So let's go over some of the pros and cons real quick and wrap this thing up. There was a ton more tests that I could have done. I don't have campers and RVs and stuff like that anymore, but I've tested rooms, tents, so some pros for those types of situations. This thing is unbelievably quiet. They claim 44 dB. I can see that all day long. I mean, you can have a conversation all day long. I could sleep beside this. No issues at all. Extremely quiet. More quiet than, well, my window unit in there that's also 5,000 BTUs. The other really cool thing about it, most everybody focuses on ACs. That's what you're going to see. Keep that in mind when you start pricing all the competitors. This one actually has a heater built in. Again, my people that are camping or using an RV or van camping, I can see it being very popular for van camping now that I think about it. Well, now you have heater or, well, AC. I love, love, love that they're always thinking ahead, adding big batteries like this. So, well, you can run this for quite a while off of battery power alone. And that battery opens up the door for solar. Again, that's very important for the people that's camping or van camping or RV and things such as that. Most likely you already have some panels that you can set up and extend the life of this battery, charge it. So the covers are removable. They have screens in them for easy cleaning. So that's kind of a pre-filter right there, something worth mentioning. So overall, I think it's a very well thought out, awesome unit with so much adaptability and variability. I just don't see nobody else offering all the features that this has right there. Honestly, up front, the only con I can think of is, well, the window adaptability. It comes with a little foam piece that's not going to fit your standard size windows here, so you're going to have to get creative with some foam, cardboard, or a piece of wood to adapt that to and to fill in a window. So when you pull it down on it, well, you can again pull in air from outside and exhaust air outside to cool off the equipment, the back side of this unit right here. Would love to see a larger piece of foam included or some sort of adapter that fits kind of your standard 30+ inch size windows here that we tend to have in the United States. All right, well, hopefully y'all have enjoyed the review of the EcoFlow WAVE 2. They have been coming out with some really cool products here lately. And well, I'm kind of a big kid at heart when it comes to tech and electronics. I love being able to test and run this stuff. This company has went above and beyond just portable and solar power stations to now they're getting in a little bit of everything. Man, technology is getting wild. I love testing this kind of stuff right here. And I'm about to honestly abuse this because this thing is going to be an extremely hot shop running pretty much around the clock, being a roof-mounted AC for my electrical room, something I kind of needed anyways, and I knew this was going to fit the bill. So if I have any issues in the future, I'm probably going to run this thing more than any of you ever will. I'll let you know if I have any issues with that. Thanks again for watching. We'll catch you on the next video. Don't forget, links are down in the description if you want to go check this unit out.